All right. I think I pray this time, yeah? Correct? Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool, I'll pray. Our Father in heaven, we're grateful for this day, and we're grateful for all that was done for us, and we're grateful for this school and the opportunities it gives us. And we ask you this time to help us to be guided in our conversation, that we'll feel the Spirit, and that we'll be able to learn the things that we need to learn so that we can move forward in our careers. And this we pray in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. Um, word. Well, as far as a spiritual thought, there's this book that I'm trying to read called The Christ Who Heals. And this isn't really a quote. It's from the Bible, from Luke 4:18. It says, "He hath sent me to heal the brokenhearted, to preach deliverance to the captives, and recovering of sight to the blind, to set at liberty them who are bruised," or set at liberty them that are bruised. So kind of the premise of this book is how, kind of like that quote is, like the purpose of Christ is to heal and to atone for our sins, and to allow us to be imperfect through his love and through his grace and through all that. I think myself a lot of times gets wrapped up in kind of like the bureaucratic almost, or the political side of way regarding like my own sins and imperfections, and so it's good to remember that that's the people. And you hear it said all the time how the people are the people, and the doctrine and Christ is, there's separate issues. And to really remember that I'm I'm worthy and capable of receiving that love and atonement just like the next person. And when I'm comparing myself to other imperfect people versus allowing God to purify and refine me and allow him to do that, then I think that that's important for me to remember, because I get wrapped up with my ego and pride and comparisons to other people and my sins versus theirs, and just kind of gets messy. And you know
Yeah, for sure. I think that's one of the hardest things that we have to go through and that we have to figure out. It's like it's so easy, especially in our day with all Facebook and all Instagram and all these social media. It's so easy for us to try to compare ourselves to other people.
right.
And so, yeah, it's that moment we just have to realize that that's not what we're here for, and we look to Jesus Christ because that's who really we should be striving to be like, anyways.
Right, for sure. And any comparison of myself to someone else is irrelevant, to the greater scheme of things.
Yeah, for sure. I wonder how much. I wonder if that's something that'll be brought up a lot. It's like, how much time did you waste thinking, trying to be like this or comparing yourself to this, and really you should have been doing this.
Shit, yeah. Yeah. So those are just some of my thoughts.
Cool, man.
Um,
All right. So look at this. So I basically just got done with the case study, so I wasn't able to do like a spreadsheet yet. or anything. I've been just kind of out of it. My foot's been in a lot of pain, to be honest. So I've just kind of been slacking.
All good, man.
Get up.
I made like just this. I made the spreadsheet, but I didn't look at the the instructions for. I'm just looking at that right now, trying to look up some of these like acronyms that are in the.
Yeah.
Like the CFF and CVP.
Yeah, I'm glad you're doing that too, because I am also trying to figure it out.
Okay. So the cost volume profit, I mean, so that spreadsheet that they have you create, like, I don't know if you watched that tutorial that helped you like create a.
I didn't watch that yet.
So it's really easy, and it's basically just it's pretty easy. But it looks at like essentially if you're um if you're going to I don't know what you would call it, what kind of chart you would have, but it's a subscription model for profit formula is what.
Okay.
So it's like looking at how adjusting like the fixed and variable costs will affect revenue basically. So it was, and it kind of showed you how to use like this what if function. And so you can like alter. So it gives like the number of subscribers and the conversion rate and the monthly fee and like the some different things, and you can
Just
basically
plug it in.
Yeah, and
Cool.
have it adjust. So I guess as far as like the cost, volume, profit, um, I don't know what I'm just looking up. This definition appears very frequently and is found in the following. That doesn't really help me. Cost, volume, profit, and break-even analysis. Relevant costing and non-routine decisions, budgeting for profit planning, and budgeting through financial modeling, discounting, and compounding analysis techniques. So okay, so with this spreadsheet, if you can alter in using this. So if you go to data in Excel and go to the what if analysis and then goal seek, you can say, okay, if I want my profit, right now my profit says 4 million. If I want my profit to go to 20 million, and I want it to be based on the number of subscribers, how many subscribers would I have to reach before my profit could be 20 million? Right now I have 1 million subscribers at
Cool.
20%. There's a monthly fee of $10, annual fee of $120. So that's an annual revenue of 24 million. Number of employees is 40, 150 grand a piece. So I have $6 million in fixed costs, 14 million in variable costs, and $4 million in profit. If I want to make 20 million, I'd need to have 26 million number of subscribers based on that evidence, or based on like that at the 20% conversion rate at the $120 monthly subscription. So you say, okay, cool. And then with that same function, you can say, you know, what would I have to change my conversion rate to be if I wanted to reach 5 million?
Cool. So it just like really breaks it down for you. That's nice.
But I don't know, like, anyway, so as far as like this question goes, it says describe the key elements, keep or start doing, organizational implications. So I think for this one, the key elements allows you to like look at key elements in like the business flow chart to successfully adjust variables to reach target. I don't know. Price points.
Yeah. That sounds right to me. Like different price points.
So organizational implications. I mean, that could potentially involve any.
I think they like, as far as like a company, they struggle organize like wise. Like they're not very organized. It doesn't seem like to me.
Yeah.
They have like a lot of engineers stuff, but like the key organization is just kind of off. I don't know. Seems like it that with all they had what those 5 people leave, and it seemed like a lot of it came back to the organization.
And like the structure of it all.
Yeah, I'd say like I'd say that was probably majority of the reason why those people were leaving.
Due to the structure and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about for GTM? I'm seeing stand for go-to marketing strategy or go-to-market strategy.
Yeah.
So key elements I think for this would be like subscription versus
The
monthly
freemium.
fee versus free. Yeah. Keep or start doing. I mean, they're already doing it, but like, and that's the cool thing with that chart that it made. Like, say you wanted to make the monthly, say you wanted to like make the monthly fee be whatever, like you could plug that in and it would let you see what your revenue and profit and everything cost of goods, all that stuff would be. So
I think
anyways,
a good strategy for them would be like to offer their premium for a discounted price for a while, and then people get so used to that premium service that you kind of say it's a 3 month, for this much money, and then after the 3 months, if you want to, you have to just pay the normal price.
right.
Because I know for like the Spotify premium, that's how they got me a couple years ago. Is like I hated listening to commercials all the time on Spotify, but I paid for like a cheaper premium for a while, and then now I pay for it anyways because I'm so used to it now. It's just like,
Right. Yeah. I would, and at this point, it's like it's already set up, it's already established. Probably it just draws from your account every month. You're just like accustomed to that.
yeah, like,
So
yeah, every month it comes out of my bank account, and but it's like since I've used the premium, I really wouldn't go back to the free version either, because I like it a lot better. You can skip how many, like in the free model, you couldn't skip songs and things, and now I can just skip and do things that I couldn't do with it, and so I really like it.
so for the for the keep or start doing. I mean, I think in some ways, I mean, I think in a lot of ways they're already doing all these things. They just have like different ways that they could maybe alter it. So keep or start doing. I mean, I think that you can like start doing or improve upon the ways that you're currently doing it, and then organizational implications. Go to market. I would imagine that would primarily involves like the sales and marketing, which I know it said in the case like they didn't have anybody that that was over sales and marketing, but I mean, so that's kind of the point. Like they would have to include a sales and marketing team.
Yeah.
So that next one, TOM, target operating model. Adjusting revenue, conversion, fee, to get target profit. So, I mean, I think right now they have a target operating model, but like you were saying, it's pretty like, it's pretty like makeshift hodgepodge. They're all kind of like pulling together.
Yeah.
So it'd probably mean like having some more like firm guidance or direction with that.
Yeah.
Like higher level of focus.
And maybe hire people that their job is to be in charge of you know what I mean? Because there's like the top and the bottom. There's not really like middle
Yeah.
ground. I think that's where they're struggling is they have I think they probably have great engineers, but those guys aren't the people that are organized, you know.
Right.
They can create the product, but they're not necessarily like good at organizing a whole company to have the same goals and the you know.
Yeah.
So I think like just like overall the operations is where they struggle a little bit.
Then CFF is cash flow from financing. So I guess like differentiating where revenue is coming from.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I think too.
Like in relation to capital. Like is the capital we're putting at it like from our own bank account, from our own like funding, or is it from somebody else? Is it from like the last like investment round? I don't know. Keep or start doing. I don't.
I think they're kind of like somewhere in between that.
Yeah.
I think that's where they're at. It's like somewhere in between keep or start doing. Because I don't know if they're doing it great, but I don't know if they're like not doing it at all and doing horrible.
Well, and I think it's just like trying to figure out how revenue or profit is affected uh, by investment dollars. Like if I'm throwing all this money at a at a project or this business and I'm not making any money, probably be good to know because I probably would not want to keep sinking money, into that if it's not making sense.
Yeah.
Um, so, okay. Says working as a group, take a closer look at Cloudflare's cash flow formula. Suppose we have to hire more engineers in direct proportion to how do we scale? How long will it take to become profitable? Use an actual spreadsheet and turn it in after the discussion. Um, so, oh,
So each engineer is what, 150 grand?
yeah, it says they had $20 per month subscriptions. Um, it says they've only spent $2 million on network equipment. So what we need to know is what the number of subscribers are, what the conversion rate is. And we know the monthly fee, right, is 20 a month, or is that 20 a year?
I think it's 20 a month. I could be wrong.
Okay, Cloudflare's network served over 2 billion page views daily, about 1% of total internet pages.
So benefits
Internet
for
five,
subscription fees, $20 per month.
35 employees is how
Oh, they
many they
have.
have. 35 employees. Yeah. Okay.
Right now they're at a 3.05 million annual loss at current scale.
3.05 million. I don't want to put that in. $35 employees. Expenses would equal
5.2. Their total expense is 7.85 million.
so. Okay. So let's see here. There's 500,000 subscribers, 4% conversion, 20% or $20 monthly fee. Annual revenue is 4.8 million. Okay, that's all good. And then we've got 35 employees, 150 150,000 cost per full-time employee. So the fixed costs are 5.25 million. So we need to know what the variable costs are. Well, I guess if the let's see. So variable costs, let's see, variable costs equals this. Okay, so variable costs are 2.6. 3.05. Okay, cool. Super freaking cool. So it wants to know what now?
Let's see. Wants to know. We hire more engineers in direct proportion to how we scale. How long does it take to become profitable?
Okay, so what you would do is if you put in all that data that it gives you, and then you go with that what if analysis, goal seek function, and you want to you'll select the profit. I mean profitable, so we could make that value $1
Yeah.
by changing the number of employees. And so, dang, that wasn't what that was, I don't think, right. I don't know why this is. I don't know why this is doing this.
What's going on?
Um, so I don't know that. Yeah, okay, so that makes sense. So it wants to know how, suppose we have to hire more engineers in direct to proportion to how we scale. How long will it take to become profitable? Why does if does Cloudflare have economies of scale? So I don't know how to do this.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure it out too right now.
Maybe.
Um, do they have a cost decrease when they have more customers, or are their costs going to be the same?
Their cost or their profit decreases the more employees that they have. I'm trying to figure out how to correlate like the employees to the profit.
Yeah.
Yeah, because this is telling me if I do the correlation between the number of employees and the total profit, all it's telling me is to decrease the number of employees from 35 to 14.6. If you do that, that would give us a $1 profit because that would, cut our fixed costs from 5.25 million to 2.19 million.
Okay.
But I don't think it's wanting us to scale like up,
Yeah.
not down, I would guess.
Hmm. As far as like their like, does Cloudflare have network effect? I'm pretty sure it mentioned that like the service is better when more people use it. And it's kind of a community thing, but like the more people use it, the more they're able to help.
Yeah.
And then like the high switching costs, I remember it saying like their competitors, it's like super expensive for to use their service, while they're like a relatively cheap product, like cheap service, and so it would be pretty costly for a customer to switch to a competitor because they're kind of targeting the small and medium-sized websites, and they said there really wasn't such thing as like a cheap alternative. Yeah.
Okay. Well, does Cloudflare have network effects? The value of service increases each customer when there are more customers using it. Is that what you were just asking? We're
Yeah.
talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they mentioned that it did.
Yeah. And in the video, one of the videos that they posted, it talked about that as well. Does Cloudflare have high switching costs? Will it be costly or painful for customers to switch to competitor if there was such a competitor out there? I don't know if I caught anything that to speak to that.
Yeah, they just talked about how there really wasn't a competitor out there. I mean, if there was such a competitor out there, maybe not, but they just said right now there really isn't. Like it's just like either really expensive or they're kind of or them pretty much.
Yeah.
And most of these smaller websites and bloggers and stuff don't have that kind of money to pay for their kind of the same service.
Yeah. What other reasons? might Cloudflare management have for wanting to get big fast? I think, like we were saying, the more users are using it, the more bugs they can work out, the more
The better they become.
the better they become. What reasons might you suggest for not growing so fast? I would say, like, with how unorganized and unstructured and unfocused, like, it kind of made it sound like in their employee turnover for like pretty, I mean, employees that they don't want to be losing. I feel like getting big fast will just like further complicate that.
Yeah, I was gonna say the same thing. Like the guys that have left were just like super frustrated. I mean, they were almost at their year mark where they could have got stock options and things, and they
But
left
they
anyway.
pieced, yeah, they pieced anyways.
So that shows how frustrated they were.
Yeah. So that's kind of what the next question is.
Yeah, let's see. They're talking about the people that left, like kind of why they left. Is it worth? Like, was it worth doing their suggestions? Right?
Yeah. So Dale was the one who. Yeah. So he was the one that was on call and had to take a. I think it said take a call like every 8 minutes on average.
Which for 24 hours straight would just be out of control.
Yeah.
Like, that would be horrible.
So is it worth it to make those changes to keep people who left? So, I mean, I think that they could have maybe separated that. I don't know. It would be hard. I think they talked about like having to pay more for someone that could handle all that. But if you split that maybe up into 2 or 3 different jobs where you had 3 people that kind of alternated shifts each day, like 8-hour shifts.
Yeah, that might be a lot better.
Because right now, like the position's gonna fall just to whoever, and I mean, there's gonna likely run into the same issue with whoever they hire, you know.
Yeah.
So I think in that case, like it would make sense to address what will happen to other employees who work there if your changes are implemented. Like probably like stress would go down, stress would be reduced. It's not all falling on the shoulders of one person who, I think it said they alternate every 2 weeks, but for 2 weeks you're on call 24 hours a day every 8 minutes.
Yeah. No,
Why
I agree.
But you're gonna.
100%. Oh, sorry.
I mean, well, if like you brought on a couple, like a team to do that, and maybe like a weekend team as well or something, hopefully that would just, and you paid them a little bit less. I don't know. I think it would be hard.
That just like increases morale. I don't know how motivated I'd be if every 8 minutes I was getting a call. Like
Right.
I'd just be getting frustrated. And I think that's definitely a job that needs to be split up amongst the team.
Yeah.
Like he was saying, or have some kind of call center or some, So yeah, I think that's what he was suggesting, like they should implement.
Word. So the next guy, David Conrad. Is he the one that was like the big marketer, had a lot of pull? I can't remember what his deal was.
He was just not happy with his position. Like he felt like he should have been doing something else.
He wasn't satisfied with the work. He didn't feel like he was contributing like he wanted to. He was like, the Silicon Valley veteran,
Yeah.
and so he said he knew he was leaving a lot on the table, but he felt like he wasn't contributing and that he didn't earn his options. This speaks volumes about how strongly great engineers feel about doing important work.
With him, I just felt like kind of they could keep him on as a consultant, like just like they were saying, and they'd probably be just fine.
Yeah, but I mean, I think about it like if he's really not reaching his potential and is unsatisfied with how like mentally unchallenged he is to the point that he's going to leave and forfeit like millions of dollars potentially, like maybe it's worth to keep him on. He probably like Marlo Hush. He's a Silicon Valley veteran. He's been around the block.
Yeah.
Maybe it makes sense to, or maybe he's expensive. Maybe they can let him go, keep him on as a business consultant, still get his insight and his ideas, but not have to keep him on salary. What will happen to other employees who work there if your changes are implemented? So if they let him go, like, obviously have to fill his shoes, like from a day-to-day work
Yeah.
standpoint, but also like I feel like the more high value engineers like that leave, like it kind of sets the precedent or the tone throughout the business that, like, I don't know, if a bunch of people at my work that I really respected and that I valued like their opinion and
They
their
left.
piecing out, like might kind of make me question the stability or the involvement I have with my job. It's like,
Yeah, that's true. I didn't really think about it that way. Maybe you let him have an increased role. Kind of do. I think he just wants to be more involved. I think
yeah,
that's his main thing. So maybe you involve him more on some decisions, and you let him use his experience, but you don't overuse it either. You use it to the amount that you need to.
yeah. Um, yeah, I
There's just
agree.
there's this other guy, David. Maybe they just need to stop hiring guys named David.
That's probably a good place to start. Um, um,
I
so he,
I feel like his suggestions were like really minimal. Like he's just kind of like, dude, I have a family and we have
yeah,
these late meetings. Can we move the meetings around to a different time? Like I feel like that was one of his major concerns. His commute's a little longer. He doesn't get he has kids and stuff. And I think they said several other people have suggested like changing the time of the meeting and they wouldn't do it. I think that's a very minimal thing that they definitely could do.
right. Especially having a meeting that lasts for an hour and a half on Friday at 5. Like that's kind of bogus.
Yeah,
I would be not pumped about that. It's
yeah.
like work day's over and now we got to sit through this meeting and then I got to sit in traffic.
For another
Especially like
2 hours.
I don't know if you've been to San Francisco or driven
Oh
around
yeah,
there, but like that's not where you want to be stuck in traffic on a Friday at rush hour. Like
it's awful.
he's probably getting home at like 8.
Yeah, his kids are sleeping already.
His
He's just
kids.
like
So I feel like those are that's a pretty minimal request to meet to
to
get
move the
him
meeting. Like, why can't you move it at noon on Friday, sometime during
right.
the day? You know?
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I felt like that he kind of got gypped a little bit, like, and then he wasn't. It seems they made it sound like he wasn't the only one that wasn't happy with it. Like, there's multiple people that weren't thrilled about it.
Yeah, I'm not thrilled about it for sure.
Yeah, I think they
Um,
could have helped him a lot.
yeah. Um, and I think that would increase like overall morale and stuff in the office.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Um, so then the next ones, they didn't really get a whole lot of insight. Other twos that resigned over the past 2 months. Um, he wasn't really passionate about a lot of the work. It took us time for I'm burnout and I'm gonna quit. So they sent him on the sabbatical. I mean,
I just think he's not worth it, to be honest.
yeah, I feel like that is a guy. If he's getting burned out with that one, it's if it says he's not passionate about it, like go do something that you're passionate about. Like I would imagine it'll be like a residual thing with him. If he's not passionate about the work, that it's gonna take continual like interventions to make him happy. Okay, go take some time off. Okay, go get right.
Yeah,
Like do your thing. So maybe just let that dude go.
it's just not worth messing around with. I don't think. If you're
Yeah.
not passionate about it, you're not going to have the drive, and you're just going to slow everyone else down.
All right. Okay, so implement more process and structure, hire a VP of HR and start using titles, yes or no? What do you think about that?
I think yes. I think that'll help every single person in the office.
Yeah,
I feel like
I would
there's
agree.
some kind of structure.
Yeah, well, and then it's not like the CEO who's having to handle it and obviously doesn't really know how to do so without tact. Like they lack the HR policies in the first place. I think.
And you're not questioning everything. You know what I mean? Like, who should I talk to? What should I do? It's just it's there, right in front of your face.
Right. Um, yeah. So slow down growth, yes or no?
I don't know if they can afford to slow down their growth. That's my only thing. I think they need to grow to make money, and
Yeah.
their product becomes better with growth.
Yeah. I would I would agree. I mean, and if it's any indication that that's their mentality, it said they raised that $20 million round.
Yeah,
Um, so yeah, I would agree. I think especially with their product improving, if they want to continue to improve their product and continue to be able to have like the big accounts and big subscriptions that they have, then they probably should improve their product as much as
yeah.
they can. And I mean, that includes growing.
And
The only,
who doesn't want to improve their product? You know.
but I would say that they wait to really push the growth until they're able to implement like the HR
And
and get a little more
structure.
focus and structure within the organization. Because
Oh,
if
for
they
sure.
don't have that, like it's just gonna, I would imagine it's just going to further complicate things. And now like they're even busier and things are more complicated and yet those same problems are still going to be there.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, they need to implement the structure, but yeah, they definitely need to grow. It's like me saying I want to go play basketball in shoes that are 30 years old. You know, just like you, when technology comes and gets better, you want to get it.
Right.
You want to have it be better.
When it allows you to grow and innovate like at a higher level, you know.
Yeah,
So
yeah, for sure, man.
um word one, and so the last one is like what kind of what'll happen to the culture and motivation of the employees with those recommendations. And you know, I would think and I would think and hope that it would only improve. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like if you can kind of inadvertently meet some of those demands and address some of that structure, kind of because I think people need structure. I think like as
Oh yeah.
much as you might not, or as much as I might not like acknowledge it, I feel safe and secure and stable. And maybe I don't want someone breathing down my neck constantly or feel like I have no freedom or no creative ability. Like I want to have that type of opportunity, but at the same time, I don't want to be so weighed down and so buried with structure that you know, that I can't get my job done, that I'm not being challenged. And so I think they just need to find that balance. And right now it's leaning like way too heavily in the other direction, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah, for
So,
sure, man. I
um,
need structure. I couldn't do it without structure.
yeah, I mean, and like I'm at a job right now where I don't like, it's kind of wavering in some regards. I have a lot of structure. Um, we had like a smaller company that's just turning corporate, and so a lot of HR, a lot of different things like that are getting implemented, but at the same time I have a lot of freedom and trust. And so there's structure from like a corporate level like that, but on like the day-to-day basis, on the really how my life and my job is impacted, I have a lot of freedom. So
Yeah.
I think it's like that, finding that balance though, where everybody's happy.
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah,
Cool, man.
right on, dude. Well,
Well,
I think that's it.
yeah.